So we're Travis and Lindsay, and as some of our friends and family know, we're not quite city people.
So for weeks, we have been stepping out of our comfort zone, and we've traveled along the east coast of the U.S. to visit its most known cities.
And one of those cities was Boston.
We made it to Boston, finally, after driving around for an hour to find parking.
Yeah, we now know why Boston is #1 in worst traffic.
Yes, most congested traffic, I think it was.
Pretty bad.
Yeah, so we found parking, but it's only good for 2 hours. So let's just make the best of it.
Hopefully we don't get a ticket.
Yeah.
So one of the main reasons I wanted to come to Boston was because there's a lot of history here, a lot of rich history for the creation of the U.S. country, and a lot of information you can gain is right here in Boston on the Freedom Trail, which is what we're going to do, at least part of it. It starts right here at the information center and follows this line all around the city.
Okay. All right,
That's what we're going to do.
Let's follow the line.
The Freedom Trail that passes through Boston and 16 significant locations is approximately 4 kilometers or 2.5 miles long. We end up doing all of it, but not all in one go, as we had to constantly find new parking in fear of getting a ticket.
So we're at the King's Chapel. Apparently this was the first place that they buried bodies in Boston after the town was settled in 1630.
The Boston Latin School, pictured here, is the single most oldest school in all of America.
What is this building again?
Well, right now it's a Chipotle Mexican grill, but it used to be the literacy capital of almost all of America. This was one of the first public bookstores around, so pretty cool. It's not much to look at now, but this is where the American Revolution started. This is where the Americans would come to demand their rights from the British. But time and time again, it never led to anything until war broke out. So, very, very powerful house, this building.
The site of the Boston Massacre, where British soldiers opened fire on a mob of angry Boston citizens. The house of the legendary war hero Paul Revere, the man who alerted friendly forces of the invading British and later became one of the founding fathers of the country after independence. The North Church held a lantern to describe to Revere how the British would invade, by water or by land. The U.S.S. Constitution, heralded by its success in the War of 1812 against the United Kingdom by capturing numerous merchant ships and destroying many more warships. The Bunker Hill Monument is a 67-meter, 221-foot obelisk to commemorate the first site of the battles with the British Redcoats in the Revolutionary War.
So what did you think of the Freedom Trail?
It was long.
Did you learn anything?
I guess.
Learn a little bit of American history?
Yeah, don't expect me to repeat it though. No, it's really cool. It's really cool.
On to the next.
Oh, it's so nice being on the water. Remember that time when we went to New York?
I do remember that time. New York City. Yeah, we also did a boat trip there.
And we only had 1 day to do it. And it was a busy one. Alright, we are in Central Station, New York
City.
New York City. So the Central Station is actually a really cool, beautiful building. We're going to go towards
The Empire State.
We're going to the Empire State Building, and there we're gonna see some nice sights of the city. Yeah, really excited about that.
Yeah, it's gonna be good. It's gonna be nice to start off the city with a nice giant view. So
We actually only have one day planned in New York, so we're gonna try and see as much as we possibly can.
It's not enough, but there might be 2. We'll see.
Let's go! I know it sounds crazy. Only one day in New York. Like, who does that?
So there's a building in front of us.
Yeah, apparently this is the Empire State Building. We almost missed it.
It goes up.
As excited as I am to just run up the stairs, we decide to take the elevator when we realize there are 86 flights of them.
Yeah, I know that guy. He's a king.
You would think we are at the airport.
Are we flying to Amsterdam?
Sadly enough, we are not flying to Amsterdam. But it was above our expectations to see how much animation was created in this 92-year-old building. Starting our day on the top of the Empire State Building made it easier for us to have a wider perspective of the city and think about our next move. Elegantly stuffing my mouth with the biggest pretzel I've ever seen, we walk towards the famous Times Square, where literally no one and nothing is too crazy. From dancers to transformers, or from Spider-Man to... Wait, is that a guy in his birthday suit playing his guitar? Of course, we couldn't escape taking the obligated touristic boat tour. This way, we get the best views of the city, and how else are we going to be able to meet Miss Liberty? We do have to stand on the tip of our toes to be able to get a good shot like this. I was 11 years old on that fateful day. And it was important for us to pay our respects at the beautiful memorial site of 9/11. It's a skating ring in Central Park. Only a quick visit though, as the sun sets way too early on this beautiful day.
And don't forget, when we left Boston, we went to the home of a famous writer that was in the middle of the woods.
Oh, is it that walk that we went to that cabin that wasn't there?
Yeah, Henry David Thoreau. You might know him.
I went to the woods because I wished to live deliberately, to front only the essential facts of life, and to see if I could not learn what it had to teach, and not, when I came to die, discovered that I had not lived. Henry David Thoreau, one of America's philosophers and naturalists, and whose books I have read in much adoration, lived at this site in Massachusetts from July 1845 to September 1857. I had always wanted to visit this site, but it left us a bit wanting.
We're here at Walden Pond, the home of Henry David Thoreau. Well, for 2 years. Well, the home is just a couple of foundation blocks.
That pile of stones over there. I was expecting a house or a cabin or anything.
Yeah, it's not much anymore, but it's still interesting to come visit the site of, one of America's greatest writers and environmentalists / learn to live off the land, stuff like that. So I don't know, it's pretty cool. It's a nice area, nice way to start off the morning.
Yeah, it's a good walk and it's nice views too. So that's what we're going for.
That's it.
But luckily, there was a replica cabin to fill the void from the actual site.
This place gives me a little bit of spooky vibes, don't you think?
No, what does it remind you of?
That spooky city we went to. I'll show you.
We're bewitched by the spookiest town in America.
We're in Salem.
Salem, Massachusetts' most widely known fact is the infamous witch trials. In 1692, 19 people were either hung or crushed to death by the accusation and eventual conviction of practicing witchcraft. This witch house is one of the only standing structures related to that time, filled with the same 300-year-old equipment and books that were used. Despite all the witchery stuff, it is actually quite an artsy town. These blue trees are an art piece that is attempting to get people to talk about and care about deforestation, a major problem in most areas of the world. And of course, the town is filled with creepy statues. This one is of the town's founder, Roger Conant, who was part of the first batch of colonists to come from London. He actually came over on a ship similar to this, but this one is called the Friendship. A brilliant name if you ask me.
We're gonna check out something that's a little off the beaten path. Not really recommended for everyone. It's an interesting place to go to.
I'm a bit nervous.
Dream will come true, as long as that dream is one where you become a failure.
Jesus.
The Satanic Temple was interesting. Filled with many oddities from around the globe, it didn't really feel much of a place of worship, especially since we were charged $12 for admission. More like a tourist trap for the curious traveler. Not sure we would see such abnormal articles otherwise, though. Okay, and there's one more thing that we need to show you before we end this video.
Oh, you mean that very important rock we saw?
Another cool piece of history here in America is the Mayflower. Well, this is the Mayflower too. It's a reconstruction that they built in the 50s of the first vessel to bring over pilgrims from England to settle in the New World. Pretty interesting. More history.
The USA seems to have an obsession with restoring or completely recreating old ships. And in this area, they also seem to have an obsession with clams and turkeys.
Gobble gobble.
And now for the most interesting piece of American history.
This is just a rock.
Yeah. What do you think of the rock?
There's a security camera for the rock. Have you seen the building it's built around?
It's impressive.
It's a rock.
All for this rock. It's an important rock though.
It's a rock.
She doesn't understand the importance of this rock.
I guess not.
This is where the first people came. Landed right here from Europe to North America.
And this is the chosen rock for it.
It's the chosen
Very
rock.
impressive. So this was today's video, and we hope you enjoyed it.
So we're happy to get back to our comfort zone. And next week, we amaze ourselves with how much wildlife we see in Florida.
So make sure to subscribe and not miss a thing. I think, yeah, that's the best. That's the best we can do. We suck a little.